Hi, this module we will talk about availability. Availability is the readiness and timeliness, which a data is ready for access when needed by the authorized users. Here are some of the methods or concepts we use to achieve availability. High availability or HA is a term we use quite commonly to describe the time expectation of the service readiness. In a real-world application, quite common in tender and service level agreement, you will find something called a 5 nines requirement, commonly taken to mean 99.999%, which translate to a downtime of less than 5.26 minutes per year. Achieving 5 nines availability is not easy, as you need to move down the provisioning stack, meaning from the internet link, all the way down to every single connected device, cables to power supplies, and at the macro level, the physical site. When you subscribe to a cloud service, this is one of the considerations you need to keep in mind. Next is redundancy. This refers to systems or data that are duplicated, thus the word redundancy. When the system suffers an outage, the redundant system or secondary system will take over. This process is called failover. There are a few ways to implement a failover. Using an active-passive approach or active-active approach. Active-passive means one system is providing the service while the other stays passive or dormant. The passive system will get activated when the active system suffers an outage. An active-active approach means both systems are online providing the services and most likely sharing the service load. When one service goes down, the other will take up the excess load. To achieve this, you will need to understand clustering and load balancing and the different schemes and technologies that are available. Next, there is fault tolerance. It refers to the components of a system. It's the ability for the system to continue operation in the event a critical component fails. Usually hard drive and power supplies. The major vendors have fault-tolerant servers, and most hard disk vendors provide mean time between failure for their hard disk. You can also plan out the storage using RAID, short for redundant array of independent disks. As part of the components, you will also always need to plan for a redundant power supply, like an uninterruptible power supply, UPS, for a critical server. On the higher level process planning for availability, there is also a need to plan for business continuity and disaster recovery. Business Continuity Plan, BCP, refers to a series of protocols designed to ensure the business can continue operating during a disruptive event, like for instance the COVID-19 pandemic. BCP aims to answer the question, how can we keep the business running if disaster strikes? A Disaster Recovery Plan, DERP, refers more specifically to the steps and technologies for recovering from a disruptive event like an earthquake, especially when infrastructure and data are lost. It aims to answer the question, how do we recover from a disaster? On the data level, it is important to understand backup technologies and processes. Backing up is to provide redundancy of data. When the data in use is corrupted or destroyed, you will still have a backup copy. Backup is another huge topic, which in itself is a module. To go through the high level of backup, one needs to understand the difference between backing up and archiving. Backing up is meant for recovery, while archiving is meant for discovery. Backing up techniques includes full backup, incremental backup and differential backup. Look into the backup module for all the differences and benefits. In summary, we have discussed high availability, redundancy, fault tolerance, backup, business continuity, and disaster recovery. Please refer to the other modules for an in-depth explanation.